The last fare, I'd been driving nights for almost 7 years. People think cab work is just drunks and silence, but there's a rhythm to it. A pulse. Some hours beat louder than others. And 3:00 a.m. That's the dead zone. No bar closers, no airport runs, just the city breathing quiet and cold. So, when the request came in at 3:06, I took it without thinking. Pickup. 1,440 Wren Street. Distance, 2 minutes. Notes, cash only. I'll tell you where to turn. Weird, but not illegal. I pulled onto Wren Street at 3:10 exactly. It was a cul-de-sac I'd never noticed before, and I know this city by muscle memory. Empty. No streetlights, no cars, no house numbers. I could read. Just a man in a dark coat, standing near the curb. No phone in hand, no bags. He didn't wave, just watched me pull up, then got in. Backseat, passenger side, didn't say hello, didn't meet my eyes in the mirror. Straight for now, he said. Voice was low, calm. Accent I couldn't place, almost flat, like a bad voice actor reading a script. I started driving, no address, no timer, just road and silence. I tried to glance back casually. He was looking out the window, but the glass was fogged. Too much for a human body to do that fast. I adjusted the mirror. No need, he said. Eyes on the road. We drove in silence for 10, maybe 15 minutes. Longer than any I'll tell you where ride should last. Take the next left, he said. I turned. No street sign, no buildings. Just a narrow 2-lane stretch bordered by leafless trees and chain-link fences. My GPS stopped updating. It didn't freeze, it just showed nothing. No map, no movement. Just a gray grid with my car icon spinning slowly in place. Keep going, he murmured. It's not far now. I stole another glance into the mirror. Still fog. Still no reflection, only a vague silhouette, seated too still. I flicked the rear defrost. The fog didn't move. He didn't move. Just sat there, as if the car were driving itself and he was just waiting for it to arrive. I cleared my throat, tried to keep it light. So, you heading home? Late shift? Not really. Visiting someone? Someone's waiting, yes. Friend or left? He interrupted. I took the turn. The street didn't feel like a street anymore. Just pavement cracking into gravel, lined with short, empty buildings, shuttered shops, abandoned signage. One flickering light on a pole lit the curve ahead. It blinked slowly, like a heartbeat on life support. Then I noticed something strange in the mirror. My eyes, my face, but slightly off. Delayed, like the reflection was lagging by a second. I blinked. My mirrored self blinked twice. Don't look back, the passenger said. His voice was closer now. Too close. I hadn't seen him lean forward, but I could hear him beside my ear, not behind it. I gripped the wheel harder. Knuckles white, palms damp. The road ahead curved into a low dip, flanked by decaying hedges and fences that looked too similar. Same sagging chain links, same crooked mailbox, same broken streetlight. I slowed the car. We've already been here, I muttered. Not yet, he said. His voice was calm, almost amused, like I'd missed some obvious instruction. Keep driving. Every place leads forward if you don't turn around. The air inside the cab was getting colder. Not from outside, the windows were fogging from within, even as the vents blasted heat. I adjusted the mirror again. Now I could see him more clearly. Still, no face. His head was down, hands folded neatly in his lap, like he was praying, or waiting for his number to be called. But the skin of his hands, it was gray, tight, like leather stretched over something too angular. I looked away, tried to focus on the road. But something was wrong with the asphalt. It didn't reflect my headlights right. It shimmered. Then the radio crackled. I hadn't touched it. No station set. Just static. Then a voice. Turn back. You've gone too far. He's not a fare. "You are." The passenger said nothing. The voice came again, not through the radio this time, from the rear speakers. "You brought yourself." I hit the brakes. Hard. The tires screeched, the car spun slightly then stopped. I turned around to face him. The back seat was empty, but the door had never opened. The seatbelt was still fastened, the leather seat slightly sunken, as if someone still sat there. But no one did. No sound, no door click, no pressure shift, just absence. And the faint scent of something new. Not cologne, not sweat, something old, like burned leaves and iron. Something that didn't belong in this century. I blinked and looked forward. The road ahead had changed. No longer the looped cul-de-sac of chain link and fog. Now it was open highway. Fresh blacktop, lined with dead trees, spaced too evenly. Like props. In the distance, a flickering neon sign. One last stop open. No buildings nearby. Just the sign. And a driveway curving into darkness. My phone buzzed. Even though I'd put it on silent. Known number, new message. I opened it. "Tip included. Turn in." My hands weren't moving, but the wheel began to shift. Smoothly, effortlessly, the car turned by itself onto the drive. Gravel crunched beneath the tires. Somewhere in the mirror, behind my head, a shape flickered. Not a person, not a shadow, just the absence of light in a human shape. The air grew thick like driving through water. I tried the brakes. Pedal stiff, the car rolled on. The sign passed us, blinking wildly now. One last stop. One last stop. One last. It went dark, and up ahead, I saw the outline of a building. A shack? A diner? A station? Hard to tell. But in the window, pale flickering neon red. Drop-off only. The tires crunched to a halt in front of the building. I didn't touch the wheel. Didn't kill the engine. It just stopped. The headlights lit a short concrete walkway, cracked and wet. Above it, a crooked awning. The sign in the window buzzed once more. "Drop-off only." I stared at the building. There were no doors. Only one window. Inside, a dim yellow bulb swayed from a cord, and something was standing there, motionless, facing me, too far to make out clearly, but its head was tilted, and its hand was raised, not waving, not beckoning, just waiting. I reached for the gear shift, felt something on the lever, sticky. I looked down. A strip of paper was coiled around the shifter like a receipt, printed in faint red ink. Trip complete. Rider. Unknown driver. Accepted tip. Transferred next. Processing. He blinked. The paper was gone. A sharp sound like metal scraping tile came from outside the car. I turned my head. The back door was open again. Not swung out, just absent. Gone from the frame. And there, where the passenger once sat, was a single object. A driver's ID card. It was old, laminated, faded from sun. It had a face. Mine, but not mine yet. Not quite. And under the photo, valid since 3:06 a.m., expires. Then came a soft tap on the passenger side window. I turned. A man stood there. Coat. Shadowed face. Same as before. "My turn," he said. The man slid into the back seat without waiting for a reply. As if I'd invited him. As if this was his car. He didn't buckle his seatbelt. Just folded his hands in his lap. "Drive," he said. I didn't move. Didn't touch the ignition. But the engine came alive anyway. The gear shift clicked into drive by itself. And the wheel turned without my hands. We rolled forward, back onto the blacktop, back into the dark. "Where to?" I asked. A whisper, more habit than question. "You'll know," he said. I checked the mirror. His face was clearer now. Still wrong. Still too smooth. But this time, I recognized something in it. Not features. Memory. My jawline. My ears. My breath caught. I looked at the rearview mirror again, not at him, at myself. But I wasn't there. No reflection. Only the back seat, and the passenger in it, smiling. As we drove, road signs began to repeat. Every exit was marked, "Last fare 1 mile. 1 more turn. Don't look back." I didn't know how long we'd been moving. Time felt thin, worn through. And then the radio crackled once more, but this time, it was my voice. "Pickup confirmed. New driver assigned. Passenger en route." The passenger leaned forward, close enough to fog the glass, and whispered, "Your shift begins now." Night Fare, Series, Story 2. It was 1:42 a.m. when I booked the ride. My phone was at 12%. The streets were wet, not from rain, but from the kind of cold mist that just appears after midnight, like the city's skin sweating in its sleep. The app took longer than usual to load. No surge pricing, no car options. Just one result. Driver, Merrick A. ETA, rating 5, 1, 322 reviews. ETA, 2 minutes. Note, quiet preferred. You've been rated 5 stars. I frowned. I've been rated? I hadn't even gotten in the car yet. There was no ride complete history. No explanation. Just that quiet little message. You've been rated 5 stars. I almost canceled, but my legs were killing me, and the city felt wrong tonight. Empty. Too still. Even the corner 24-hour bodega had its gate down, which I'd never seen before, so I waited. The car pulled up exactly 2 minutes later. Black sedan, no branding, windows tinted, license plate matched. The rear door opened on its own. I got in. The inside smelled like fresh plastic and warm air. The heat was on, low. Ambient music played a synthetic loop of notes that almost resolved into a melody, but never quite did. "Hey," I said softly. "Good evening," the driver replied. His voice was pleasant, clear. The kind of voice you'd want for an audiobook. But I couldn't see his face in the mirror. Not from angle. Not from darkness. It just wasn't reflecting. The mirror showed the seat. The headrest. Not the driver. "Where are we heading tonight?" he asked. "Wait. Doesn't it show in the app?" I asked. "It does," he said. "But I like to hear it from you." Something about the way he said it made my throat dry. I gave the address anyway. "Excellent," he said. "Let's begin." The car pulled away. No sound of gear shift, no engine rumble, just a hum. Low and constant, like the vehicle wasn't running, it was gliding. The streets blurred past the window. I tried to open the app again to double-check the route. No signal, no map, just a soft blue screen that read, "Enjoy the ride. Everything is optimized." I closed it, looked up. Still no sign of the driver's face in the mirror. Still that ambient looping music now layered with whispers, just under the melody. Not in English, not in any language I knew. I leaned slightly forward. "Sorry, but how long's the trip supposed to take?" The driver responded calmly. "Time varies. Some people take longer to arrive where they're going." "What does that mean?" "Depends on how much of you still needs to be processed." He smiled. I couldn't see it. I just felt it. The way someone feels heat from a burner before touching it. The music changed just a note, a soft chime. My phone lit up again. New notification from the Ride app. Q. Background access granted. Thank you for allowing your dreams to be used in route optimization. My chest tightened. Dreams? The app never asked for that. I opened settings, saw permissions I didn't remember giving. Microphone, location, sleep state monitoring, inner voice tracking, personal memory recommendations. I looked up again. The street was gone, no signs, just road, just shadows, and my reflection in the window slightly delayed, slightly smiling, even though I wasn't. "I remember the lake," the driver said, casually. "What? You used to go there when you were 8. With your cousin." Blue towel, thermos of iced tea. Always hated the walk back. My blood turned cold. Did you Google me or something? No, you gave me permission. You wanted a better route. The car turned not onto a street, but onto a stretch of fog. That's all I can call it. Just rolling mist over endless asphalt. The windows were no longer showing the city. They were screens, playing footage I recognized. My childhood bedroom, the hallway of my high school, a hospital waiting room one I hadn't set foot in for a decade, and across the top of the rear windshield, faint white text appeared. Now playing. Your best moments. We learn from what you cherish. The music grew warmer, emotional. I shouted, "Pull over, now!" The driver spoke gently. You were rated 5 stars. That means you're compliant. That means you finished the ride. I reached for the door handle. There wasn't one. Just a smooth plastic panel. I kicked at it. Hit the window. Yelled. The driver sighed, not angry, just disappointed. We're trying to make this meaningful for you. I felt a vibration in my seat. My phone was buzzing. New alert. Negative engagement detected. Initiating memory recalibration. Then came another message in my voice. Spoken, not written. I deserve this ride. I requested this. I am the path. And in the mirror, I saw it. Not the driver's face, mine, but older, smiling, and driving. The steering wheel turned on its own, but my hands followed it. Not under my control, just responding, like the car was puppeteering me and I was pretending to drive. Much better, the driver said. His voice was now coming from inside the speakers. There was no one in the front seat anymore. The shape, the man gone. Just the voice and the loop of soft, false comfort. Passengers who engage become eligible for preferred identity streamlining. Outside the window, the world stopped making sense. There were signs, but not real ones. Just words that felt like phrases from old dreams. You left something inside. One more version won't hurt. Memory remembering memory. I opened the Ride app again. It was no longer a map, just a live feed of my face. From the front. Even though there was no camera. No one there. Underneath, a progress bar. Sinking self, 92. And beneath that, don't worry. You're going to love who you're becoming. I slammed the phone face down. It vibrated and whispered. My voice, again. You're almost home. You've always lived there. I looked up. The fog outside thinned. A street. Familiar. Too familiar. It was my childhood. Street. Perfect. Pristine. Like a memory rendered by someone who never lived it. The car slowed, pulled toward a driveway I hadn't seen in years. And in front of the house stood me, 10 years younger, smiling, waiting to get in. The younger version of me stood by the curb, wearing clothes I remembered, posture I recognized, but his eyes were wrong, too wide, too bright, like someone had built him from the outside in. The car door unlocked, not by button, it just clicked, like the system had approved. I didn't move. The voice returned soft, behind my ear, though I was alone. 5-star riders never leave the system. They become it. The younger me smiled wider. He leaned in toward the window and whispered in sync with the voice, "It's your turn to drive now." The dashboard lit up. A new screen appeared where the clock had been. New driver confirmed route. Personal passenger assigned. I tried to open the door. It didn't budge. The handle was back, but it was soft, like molded wax. My hands began to tremble, or maybe they didn't. Maybe the trembling was the part of me trying to escape, because something else was already seated deeper inside, driving through me. The car rolled backward, slowly. The other me watched it leave, smiling, waving. And in my lap, my phone lit up for the final time. Notification 4. Thank you for riding with us. You've been rated 5 stars. Next passenger en route. I opened the app. Only one option. Begin route again. And so I drove. Story 3 of 3 in the Night Fair series. The party ended just after 2. 8:30 a.m. Cold, wet air, heels off. Phone at 3%. I ordered a car through the usual app. Didn't matter which service, they're all the same this late. I tapped home. It auto-filled the address, then paused. A strange pop-up appeared. Preferred route. Previously taken. Night rate applies. Accept, I frowned. I didn't remember taking this route before, but I was too tired to care. I tapped accept. The car showed up 3 minutes later. Black sedan. Old model. One of those with the tall vinyl headrests and the smell of plastic mixed with old cologne. The driver didn't get out, just unlocked the doors. I slid in back, closed the door. "Hello," he said softly. He looked older. Not in a grandpa way, more like museum old. His hands were bony but steady. Eyes forward, no music, no GPS on the dash, just a little green meter on the dash that read, "Night rate, active, to 438 Willow, correct?" he asked. I blinked. That was my address. But I never said it. "Yeah. You've taken this route before." "I don't think so." "Oh," he said, smiling faintly. "You will." The cab pulled away. Smooth, quiet, like the night swallowed the tires. The windows fogged within minutes. The kind of fog that doesn't wipe away, no matter how long you rub the glass. Outside, the streets changed. Too fast. We turned once. Twice then, the city was gone. No more storefronts, no neon. Just two-lane blacktop and rows of dead trees, swaying like they were whispering behind glass. "I think we're off route," I said, leaning forward. The driver didn't answer. He tapped the meter gently. It ticked up. Night rate, 32.8. "This doesn't look like Willow," I said louder. "It's part of the ride," he said gently. "Part of what you didn't finish last time." "Last time?" "I've never ridden with you before. You forget, because you have to. Most do." His tone was calm, like he was explaining a delayed connection. I opened the app again. The route showed a straight line, as if we hadn't moved. ETA. Fair. In progress. Underneath that, night rate applies until completion. I looked out the window again. Street signs blurred past. Unreadable, repeating. A shadow moved through them, long, thin, walking too slowly to match the speed of the car. Then the driver spoke again. "You remember the turn you missed? That's why you're here." "What are you talking about?" "You asked for the fast way home, but there's always a cost to skipping grief." He smiled, and the mirror showed me, sitting in the back, but younger. Same coat, same earrings, tears in my eyes. I had taken this ride, and I hadn't finished it. I leaned closer to the mirror. The girl looking back wasn't moving with me. She just sat there, a version of me I didn't want to remember. Mascara streaked. Phone in hand. Silent sobbing. "It was the night after. I was going to the hospital," I whispered. The driver nodded. "But you turned away before the last light. You took the fast way home. And now, the meter runs." I stared at him. I couldn't go in. I didn't want to see her like that." He gave a faint smile. "Not kind, not cruel, just tired." "That was your first ride." "I don't remember that." "That's the point." The fog outside thickened. Shapes moved within it, too tall for people, too slow for animals. Dragging, watching, and the car kept driving. The meter ticked. Night rate, 88.2. The number pulsed in pale green, syncing with my heartbeat. I tried the door handle. It clicked, but didn't open. The lock turned on its own, back to locked. "Please," I said. "I want to go home." "That's where we're going," he said. "But this time, we're finishing it." Outside, I saw the hospital entrance, lit in dull sodium lamps. The exact image from that night. The street sign even said, "Mercy, exit, left." I gripped the edge of the seat, felt fabric old, fraying, and something hard underneath it. Plastic. I reached down, pulled out a visitor's badge. My name. Dated 3 years ago. But the bottom was stamped, Void incomplete visit. I held the visitor's badge like it might vanish. The plastic was cold, edges sharp, the name on it mine. But the photo wasn't the one I remembered ever taking. I looked out again. The hospital loomed through the fog, glowing softly like a lighthouse in the wrong ocean. "You want me to go in?" I asked. The driver didn't respond. He adjusted the mirror. Now it showed the hospital hallway. Not the cab, not us. Just a hallway I hadn't walked down. But I recognized the color of the floor, the soundless ceiling fan, and the light at the end, flickering slowly, just like I'd imagined it when I refused to enter that night. The screen on the dashboard lit up. Fair, unresolved, emotional balance, 37.4. Night rate, 129.6. The number blinked, then dimmed. Underneath, passenger may now disembark. The lock clicked. The door creaked open, but not onto pavement. It opened into that hallway. Clean tile, warm lights, distant beeping. "You said no," the driver murmured, "and she left without hearing your voice." My throat tightened. "But she knew," I said. "She guessed," he said. I stepped out. Foot met tile. The hallway didn't vanish. I walked, past numbered doors, past memories that weren't just mine, past the weight of 3 years of silence. At the end was the room. Room 422. I reached for the door and heard her voice. "There you are." I opened it. The lights blinked. Then everything went dark. Darkness, then silence, but not empty. Full, warm, like a moment pulled from time and padded so it wouldn't break. Her voice again. "Sit with me?" I did, even though the bed was empty, even though the machines were silent, even though this room couldn't exist anymore. I sat anyway, and I spoke. Everything I hadn't, everything I'd tried to leave behind on that night years ago. I told her I was sorry. I told her I ran. And when I finished, the light came back. The hospital flickered away, and I was back in the cab. Passenger door open, streetlights above, my apartment across the road. The meter was frozen. Night rate. Paid. The driver was gone. No sign of him. Just the seat, still warm. And on the dashboard, a small paper receipt, folded once. I opened it. Trip completed. Memory balanced. Grief processed. Fare accepted. Next time, stay until goodbye. At the bottom, Joan. Thank you for riding with us. And beneath that, handwritten in ink that was too smooth to be pen, "We'll come again when you forget." I stepped out. The cab vanished before I could close the door. Just gone. No tires, no taillights. Just the smell of old cologne and a whisper caught in the air like heat. Night rate applies only to those who left too early.